defensive kicks and he has offensive kicks on the side of Sandbox. The Morgana is the most valuable piece to Sandbox, and then after that it's the Ekko. Everything else is really just going to come up short. And you gotta give the draft win. It's another hard one going in Afreeca's favor.
Yeah.
And I don't know how Sandbox is going to react if they fall behind this time.
It's a good question. We have seen some duos that have the first game be really close and go very long, and then the second game is just a landslide. Could happen again here. You see some really nice scaling already. Dread will have a little bit more utility in later game team fights compared to the Elise, so I almost like this draft a little bit better, although in game number one they were kind of gifted Ornn MF, so it's hard not to love that one. At the same time, we'll take a look on the other side. Sett, Jarvan, Ekko, MF, and Morgana. If they can get that wombo combo with the bullet time, looks pretty nice, but they do need to get ahead, and they need Dove to do a bit of carrying on that Ekko. See if he can actually manage it here. Sandbox staring down a 0-2. They have to take this win if they want to avoid 1 and 4 in the standings here in the first 5 games of LCK Spring 2020.
It's going to be Spellbook on Ornn, Electrocute for the Azir here in mid lane. Both starting Corrupting Potion, also both have Minion Dematerializer. A little bit surprising, especially because a lot of the Azirs in LCK so far have opted for the Lost Chapter early. So if you end up taking Futures Market, you can get it very early on, and it's a massive power swing inside of the lane. But Dematerializer definitely a bit interesting. We're going to have to see what Dove can do on this Ekko. First dragon of the game, did you see what it was? As we take a look at the runes.
I did not.
Nothing too surprising, really, on anyone. Although there's Scorch on Morgana, that's really feels bad. In mid-game, it's just going to start getting negated. And then the other thing about this is likely going to 25-30 minutes. So a little bit surprising to have that Scorch.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to turn the lane in one direction or the other, really. At this point in time, you can see Mystic and Jelly trying to pop in there first, get their push down with the feathers. The Guardian helping out here in the tree to mitigate a bunch of damage.
And not too much happening. Jarvan gonna do the red buff start into his blue side jungle. Summit. Wave is already pushing into Kiin. Gonna get the level 2 off that minion. Gonna then, get the E. Kiin is just really not having a very good time.
The level 2, by the way, is hit down here in the bottom lane at the same time. And he is able to land it. Jelly moved out of the way, but then Mystic right behind him ends up eating that binding straight to the face. Never a good feeling. But they're going to be able to stabilize. You'll see that if he gets these 3 minions, they'll be even at 12. This time around in the top lane, Summit having a bit harder of a opponent in the top side. The
ornament.
GP he was able to bully. The Ornn, not so much.
Well, I mean, Summit is getting a lot of valuable damage off onto Kiin. This is 2 games in a row of this happening. Now, Fly's minion wave is really ugly right now. And I think they just saw Jarvan. No, it doesn't seem so. There's no pings that ended up going down.
Oh, he's going in. He's got Dread coming in here as well, trying to bait out the fight. The Q will be dodged. Easy dash up to the north.
Oh, clipped right at the end by that Haymaker. As Summit just perma-pushing against this Ornn. Ruby Crystal was built first. Armor, not really a valuable stat against true damage.
So they didn't see OnFleek come down here. OnFleek has snuck in, but he is going to go for a bit of a back. Very passive play so far to Mystic and Jelly. And they will not commit to the dive. That's part of why Morgana is a great response to this. You can put down the black shield, negate any kind of knock-up, any charm that comes out.
Yep.
And a very common answer to Rakan.
And Mystic looking like he's going to shove this wave and then eventually recall here with Jelly. Not really much to be achieved. And again, remember, Afreeca's team comp wins by nothing happening. They just have to go even. Inaction is action for them. Summit continuing to accrue CS advantages here against Kiin. So definitely the tables have turned since the Kespa Cup. And, you know, Atlus and I, we've talked about this a lot when watching Kiin, that he's looked very off so far in the first couple of weeks of LCK Spring.
He just hasn't been as dominant as other seasons that we have seen in the LCK. Just a small rotation up to the top side already. Looks like a couple of minions were denied under that turret. So I said maybe the bully was not going to be as rough. Well, it's already looking pretty rough. So that is proven wrong so far, as Summit's having a fun time just constantly pushing, which is not something you're always allowed to do.
And he's up 15 CS, 16 CS right now, which is unholy when you think about it this early on. As Dread's on top of a ward, LCK Spring, Xayah Rakan versus MF Morgana. We've been picked 14 times, Xayah Rakan.
Yeah, 5 and 9. The head-to-head stat is 2-4.
Yeah.
Which is
really interesting. That means that almost half of Xayah Rakan's losses are against MF Morgana.
And all of the wins for MF Morgana are against Xayah Rakan.
Yeah.
Nice little dodge there by Dove, but here comes the Q. He's going to have to go back in a little bit of trouble, but Jarvan makes his way in here. The Q thrown out there from Dove. Do they have the damage? He's running away. The ward over the wall. Still on the chase, but they will eventually subside and move back. Very close, but Dove able to handle that. Doesn't even have to flash in the end to get out of that one.
And Dove, he has teleport available, so he's going to be able to TP back into this lane. I'm not sure why Fly isn't shoving faster than he is. Yeah, teleport onto a minion. This is awkward. Should have shoved in that wave very quickly and just gotten a recall off. But now he's going to have to commit his teleport if he wants to come back to lane. So
yeah,
very peculiar lane manipulation.
It's either you don't push at all or you push really hard.
Right.
You can't go halfway down the middle and say, oh, well, now I don't really have a wave. And he can push it back really fast. As he's doing exactly that. Dove putting on the pressure, but Dread here again. Morgana as well. He's going to be spotted out. And ends up hitting Gorilla behind the play.
And Sandbox are ahead about 900 gold, and nothing has happened at all so far in this game. It's just all through CS advantages, mostly up there in top lane.
It's pretty much all the top lane. The bottom lane, also a slight advantage here to the side of Leo and Gorilla. What is to be expected? You know, that B2B3 Xayah Rakan always has a chance to be counteracted, to be counterplayed, counterpicked. We see that here once again. It was interesting, the head-to-head stats for Xayah Rakan versus Morgana MF were 4-2 in favor of Morgana MF, and Morgana MF only has 6 games. As, wow, the poke damage coming out, that binding just sailing wide.
Yeah. Not
able to land their Mystic, not even bothering to flash, so keeping cool under the pressure.
And Jelly and Mystic just struggling a little bit here against Leo and Gorilla. At the end of this, they're only going to find themselves down, I believe, 7 CS. OnFleek does pick up the Rift Herald. Summit not really finding himself with any difficulty here in top lane. Constantly accruing small CS leads against Kiin. As Kiin has a Sapphire Crystal. Really hope that we don't end up seeing a Glacial Shroud picked up by him. As, yeah, Azir, he has that Lost Chapter, has the Fairy Charm as well. We are in a lull state. Have you seen the new Sonic?
We're lulling around. No, did you actually go and watch that movie?
No, I asked Atlus. It's actually, I mean, everyone that I've talked to or that I've seen mention it only says good things.
Really?
Yeah, so that's a little...
I never expected that.
I didn't either. Usually when video games get made into a movie,
yeah,
it often ends bad.
You remember the Warcraft movie?
I actually like that. Did you not?
Did you? No, I didn't really like it.
Really?
Yeah, it was kind of
I was really hoping that China would carry it to a sequel because it sort of flopped in America, right?
Yeah.
But it went nuts in China.
Trying to outplay here. Dub's going to run around the wall. Doesn't seem to care. Getting poked out, but he has his ult. He has his flash. Nice little trade between the two of them. Yeah, I don't know. It was okay. I don't think it was as bad as everybody said, but I wasn't a huge fan. Going in is Dread face first into the enemy jungle. Dub going pretty far forward to get that shield. We'll be able to dodge that out. As action, you can feel it. It's bubbling to the top. It's trying to happen, but it's not. Nobody has died yet in 10 minutes.
A few moments. You know, you ever watch? A few
moments later.
Yeah. we don't have those cutscenes here in the LCK.
Atlus is, I don't know if you've experienced this, but he's really good at accents.
Yeah, is he?
Yeah, he's really, really good. He would actually be perfect to do that one. I've heard him say it before, too. He's pretty good, yeah.
Very nice.
You know, some accents are better than others for anyone. But he's got a few hours later. You'll have to ask him the next time you guys are in your local lull state.
Oh, well, that'll be Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll... You don't
Won't
have
to wait too long.
And Dub is actually ahead in XP, which is a bit surprising.
Wonder if it came from that little wave manipulation we were talking about from earlier.
All right, we might get a fight here. Brendan, get ready. You're going to have to do that thing where you speak a lot. No. No.
Oh, he hit him. Ooh.
Ooh. One hit.
OnFleek
That's one hit from Morgana.
Ugh. OnFleek got hit by a couple of those on the backside. But does have jungle item completed, and it is Cinderhulk. And we almost had some action.
We almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah.
I like how you had to think about that. You were like, wait, what did he just say? What just happened?
The thing is, I've heard it before, but I still don't really know what it means or like when you say that.
Okay, so almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So horseshoes is when you throw the ring and you measure it by how close it is. Like you almost got it around.
Oh, almost. So like it's okay. Yeah. So almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You see?
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
Why would it count in hand grenades? Because of like the shrapnel or something?
Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
Yeah, maybe. Bit of gold going back to the side of Sandbox. You can see they're trying to roll this lead. And for their composition, they really do need to do this, but the early game is going pretty well for them. So you can't really fault them so far. They've been able to dodge any gank attempts. They've tried to be active at times.
Valdez, you're a little bit too loud right now.
Oh, should I tone it down?
Some of the viewers are trying to slow.
Oh,
You're gonna need to go into ASMR casting at this point.
Well, have you ever done a ASMR cast for your stream?
Oh man.
Do you have any experience with that, Ellis? Do you ever do the the lip smacking noises?
No.
No? Okay. I thought, it's one of the things I heard is pretty popular.
I mean, there's nothing going on right now. It's very difficult to talk about what both teams are trying to achieve because it would require talking about very fine detail, and in doing so, we'd have to be very negative almost in a way because there is an absence of lane manipulation. No laner in this game right now is trying to alter their lane state to be favorable relative to their jungler's path. No one. Not one of them is doing it. And instead, we're getting an endless wave of ping pong. And while that is very favorable for Afreeca, because of their late game scaling, because of the ornaments that are going to come in, that's why we're getting no action. And I have no idea what has caused Korea to digress to this state. But that's what's happening. This isn't because everyone's playing their lane immaculately. And that's why the deaths aren't occurring. You saw Dove, he ran into mid lane, he just sent out QQ, he's going to go back, he's going to do it again in a second.
He can't wait.
And
can't wait for the dopamine kick. The gold to kick in, he'd be like, oh, I pushed the wave back, feels so good.
And if you're Sandbox, it's really unsettling for them because Summit, you saw all game long, he was pushing against the Ornn. And even when he got favorable trades and Ornn was really low, he should be pulling his wave when OnFleek is pathing top. That way, you can wiggle between the minions. No, don't W with the cannon right there. Your Jarvan's next to you. You run at him with QE, wait for him to Bellows Breath, and then flash flip him back into your Jarvan. That's how you kill him.
Well,
like
he's going to try, but the position...
You can't.
I think he's broken, guys. I think we did it. He had his last stand, and that was it.
Well, we tried to narrate some of the ways that we can get action. We're going to just go back to pushing now.
He's trying his hardest. You see him get open to that wave. He's not giving the wave any time to survive.
So that's why we don't talk about what's going on in the lanes.
Yeah, so
because we don't want to be negative Nancys.
Yeah, no.
You know,
we can talk about positive things.
We can
that
talk
are happening
about yes
in the world.
Yeah.
Dove is trying to kill Mystic here. Nearly able to do that, but I suppose got called off by his teammates. But now the TPs are coming in. Summit gonna try to get on top of Mystic. Decides to go on at least in. They don't have the burst damage though, as Ornn will attempt to disengage here and will be successful. And once again, Afreeca able to get out of a sticky situation and still no kills yet on the board.
And okay, Afreeca managed to not have anything end up going catastrophic. Also, very good news, Kiin picked up the Catalyst, so he will be building into that Abyssal Mask.
Yeah, but Summit built a Black Cleaver.
And okay. So he's building the Black Cleaver because he's only playing the game for himself.
Okay.
As he's trying to get the armor shred onto Kiin inside of the laning phase. Now, I guess another way that you could look at this is there is the Jarvan and there is the MF, but we've talked about this to the point of exhaustion here in some of the LCK broadcasts. Sett conducts himself inside of team fights oftentimes by only hitting one target. So he only amplifies the damage, typically for himself, unless it's a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1. In those scenarios, if you're playing Sett right, you're trying to land the Haymaker, which deals true damage. So why do you need the armor shred? Now, the other thing about this is that the Spellblade procs on Sett are dealing hundreds of damage inside of a fight, whereas Black Cleaver, if he's on top of an AP carry or an AD carry, you're typically only getting anywhere from 14, 13 armor pens up to 24 if they have 100 armor, which is not amplifying the amount of damage that you're doing to be greater than a Trinity Force Spellblade proc. The other thing is that Sett's passive gets augmented by attack speed. Trinity Force has attack speed. He doesn't utilize the mana, but it doesn't really matter. The bonus base MS that Triforce has, very valuable for repositioning inside of fights. Summit built Triforce last game, but in this game, he's not building it. So
yeah.
Last game, there wasn't Ornn present.
There was a GP in front of him.
Right. And I think that it really captures just how focused Korea is on itself in isolation. He's building the Black Cleaver this game simply because he laned against an Ornn, not because it's overall the best. We might have a fight, though.
1v3, you know that Ornn generally likes to have these, but... Well, I don't know why I said but. There was no but to be had. He's like, yeah, okay, I'll just play with the enemies over here a little bit, and I'll be totally fine. Does mean that Sandbox will pick up the Cloud Drake. after that little bit of a whoopsie. Takes a bunch of damage on his health bar, but still no kill here. We're nearing 20 minutes. We're getting close, guys. You know, it's not too much action in this one. A lot of objectives have been taken. Double Rift Heralds, double Dragon, one turret.
Yeah, not a lot is happening here.
Yeah.
As Black Cleaver probably going to be the ornament item of choice for the Lee Sin. He'll end up getting the Obsidian Cleaver.
Summon.
Oh!
Okay.
Yeah.
Trying to force that ultimate out there is Fly. Yet Dread coming up here as well.
Ekko's going to go back in time.
You guys know that he's not going to die, but you know they're going to trade some damage. All we get to see for now is damage.
20 minutes without a first blood here.
Hey, we got 10 seconds.
All right, well, let's take a look at the mini-map. Not really anything going on, and this is the really good stuff. Now, here's the interesting thing, is that even though Lee Sin has kick targets in this game, nothing has really been achieved. So in a vacuum, the Jarvan is more worthwhile than the Lee. But team compositionally, the Jarvan doesn't really have viable targets to engage onto. The Sett doesn't really have a lot of targets that he can do anything to. The Azir is very good at shutting down Sandbox. So even though they find themselves right now with about a 1,500 gold lead, we're now reaching the point of the game where Afreeca's team composition starts taking over. The ornaments start coming in. And you know what? Afreeca, they rolled the best possible dragon for their team comp, which is the Mountain. And if they can make it all the way to Mountain Soul with Ornn on their team, you're sitting pretty.
Yeah. You'll be shutting down the enemies in no time. They do have to fight, not this next one, but the fight afterwards. So thinking about 8 to 9 minutes from now. So right about a 30-minute mark, there's going to be a real collapse by Afreeca where they say, either we fight for the Mountain Soul, or we just give it away, which they're, of course, not going to do that. So once that does happen, maybe that is when we will get the action going on in this game. It could be when we have, you know, the game-changing fight where one team gets ahead by a massive margin. But so far, just hanging out. Nice black shield there.
Okay, hold on. We got to fight on the
Right.
left-hand side. Fly flashed away, though.
Fly just wants nothing to do
This is, honestly,
with the two of them.
it's a very long instance. That's what's going on here.
Yeah. Black shield was down. Do they have the damage? No. Just under turret. What do you mean a very long instance? Are we like playing PvE here or something? Like we haven't gotten to the bosses yet. We're just taking out the trash.
Well,
Might have a different meaning in the LoL scene.
I'm not really sure.
Wow. You missed it. Leo used bullet time on the Ornn that was in the bush. And he just charged away. And that was it. Man, I don't know. I feel like a weird champ after that one. I'm just like
feel like
sitting here.
Ender?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if Ender is watching here today, but
I think I feel like he would after seeing that. That's really the only way I can describe it. I wonder, what is the record? Didn't we have a game that was like 30 minutes one time?
without a first blood.
Yeah.
I hope that we see a record broken here today.
I mean,
mean,
that happened a
we're
couple of
going
years
to have
ago.
a team fight though in about 60 seconds. It should break out.
You think they're gonna fight over this one?
I mean, they have to. You can't just give the Mountain Dragon over to Afreeca for free. But then likewise, Afreeca should not want to let that one go. Now, I'm not sure what Fly is building. There's two choices here. He could put on a mask, which would be very good. There's a lot of HP stack on the enemy team. And then in addition to that, Leandri's will always burn more and deal more via the Madness passive than Morello's could possibly ever hope to prevent healing in this game.
This is that moment.
That moment.
Where Azir proves his worth, or does not get the star of approval from LS. So Afreeca really posturing up and trying to set up a wall of defense around this objective. When I said, did they have to fight, I meant Afreeca, did they have to really force this? But if you take a look at Sandbox, they're not really interested in fighting just yet. They do want to collapse, but 3 members in the mid lane. Summit in a lot of trouble here. He's just going to get burst down, first blood at 24 minutes, 10 seconds. And just like that, these ultra-reliable engage of Ornn, alongside Jelly with a nice engage of his own, are able to pick up that first blood.
I told you 60 seconds, Valdez.
It was nearly down to the second. It was almost there.
Literally, you know, I can't even get it. I can't even weave one in there. I'm sorry. Mountain Dragon's gonna go the way of Afreeca, and that is a very scary thing for Sandbox. If Afreeca keeps getting these, Jarvan's damage is going to be invalidated. It's a pure tank Jarvan with Cinderhult. We take a look at the replay, and they want to go start up the Dragon, but then Summit, he did this in game number 1, if you remember, in mid lane. Just way too far forward.
Yeah.
And you just don't know what's going on. Now, Afreeca, they don't need to fight. They don't need to push. Sandbox cannot do Baron. They absolutely can't do it. And so if you're Afreeca, sit back, wait for the waves to come in, keep farming your jungle camps, and literally do nothing, and you're going to be fine. Oblivion Orb picked up by Fly.
Nice, nice.
It's actually a math equation. I posted many different images on Twitter about various champions, discussed it so much on stream. There is almost no situations Morello outdoes Leandri's. And especially, oh, Dove might just die here. He has the ultimate. He's going to go back.
Yeah, Q is going to be able to land. You can see Dove is trying to trade back onto Dread, but he does go down. First kill of the game onto Dove. Summit, meanwhile, is just like, all right, I don't care about what you guys are doing. I'm just going to push the lane. And Afreeca don't really seem like they want to go for Baron. They want to go for an engage. They say, okay, 5v3, can we get something done? But a simple flash is going to deny that. Take a look at the bottom lane. Sett is still down there. OnFleek, it looks like just trying to delay any kind of pack or
Summit.
anything. Yeah, he's really far down. And finally now a TP is going to come in.
And is the turret gonna... Oh!
But it's Sett versus Azir. He's going to be able to ultimate him away. At the end of the day, you do see the rotation coming in, but Afreeca not really committing to that. That was a bit of an awkward decision.
Yeah, that was
by
a very
Afreeca.
Bizarre one by Afreeca, and so Sandbox, they're going to make out by having an exposed inhibitor. And so it's going to be a very peculiar kind of win here for Sandbox. As Molten Edge was built on Mystic, Obsidian Cleaver going to come in for Dread soon. We'll have to see what the item of choice is going to be for Jelly if he even ends up getting an ornament, as the Fabled Book has been complete. As we take a look again here at Dove in top lane, Fly just able to deal a bit of damage to him. Dove tries to engage onto Dread. Dread invests a flash to do this. They end up bringing down Dove. They get quite a lot of gold.
You know, he had a spree going, even though he was 0-0-0.
Yeah.
And they got 500 gold for that. So, hey, not half bad.
Sett down there in bot lane.
This is the longest time it took for first blood so far in spring. And we beat it.
We beat it.
Yeah.
We're setting records here, Valdez.
Yeah. Well, it was like 24 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah.
We crushed that record. We didn't just beat it.
What a fantastic.
We
were here.
I love making records.
I want to just really thank all the viewers that are here with us.
Yes.
On this day. You're a part of this too.
Yeah. Any other shout outs?
Oh no.
No. You don't want to, thank parents or
nope.
Thank the directors, the producers, nothing like that?
Well, just want to thank the minion waves. Constantly being pushed back and forth.
Nobody ever thanks the minion waves. Truly a thankless job.
Yeah, I feel like the minions are just really underappreciated.
Yeah.
Without them, you wouldn't be able to get all the gold and then purchase the items.
Yeah. They work so hard.
They really
day
did.
in, day out. They come in with sacks of gold that they're carrying. They're just doing their job.
Yeah.
And they get murdered. And then and then they have to be respawned just to die again.
That is
really
definitely,
sad.
yeah, it's really strange.
Ornn is Ornn. Can they kill him?
Oh,
He has a
they're
stopwatch. They
trying.
absolutely can. Eventually, but he's surviving for so long, it's ridiculous. Really nice Cataclysm, though. That's going to be a couple of kills as OnFleek goes in, surviving for a long time himself, but it's a good trade in the end as trying to go 1v4 now is Fly, but
what?
over the wall
Huh?
comes Dove. I don't know if Summit can really tank this. He's going really deep.
What
Double kill
is
down
going
for
on?
the Azir, and a triple make it. He doesn't survive at the end, but a very strange turret dive at the end of that all, after Sandbox got a big lead. They could have just backed off and taken the Mountain Drake, but instead,
Yeah,
that happened.
and this is sort of what we were talking about in series number 1. Sandbox, they get these advantages and then they don't stop. They end up falling over themselves. Now, why is Kiin and Dread shoving this mid wave into the tier 1 that they can't attack anyway? I have no idea, as Kiin ends up finally being brought down. Honestly, it's reminiscent of Endgame right there. Trying to bring him down, but OnFleek going in. Dove goes backwards in Azir. I don't know how that works. I think it registers as a blink. So Dove gets stopped, but then he blinks to Azir over the wall because it looked like he just walked right through it. Azir got a triple kill.
Yeah.
Mountain Dragon is up, and yet Afreeca is not. They don't seem keen on prioritizing it. What is happening?
I love when you get confused. They're going to put down a ward here and say, oh, they're not even doing the Baron. It looks like they might be forced into doing the Baron now after giving this one away. Now they have Jelly in a interesting spot here. The lack of vision.
Wait, what? Hold on, Sandbox didn't do the
They
dragon.
didn't get the dragon.
What?
And now they have to engage from behind as, oh man, huge bullet time in the back, and actually the damage from Fly is not enough, immediately taken out. As now it's all up to Mystic, but he can't do it alone, as they're just being put to shreds right now. Can he do it alone, actually? He's trying so hard. Able to kite for an insanely long time. Goes into a stopwatch though, and that's gonna be the death of him. As that will make you immobile and very predictable. And now they're all chasing Lee Sin. I hope that's because they want to go get the Mountain Drake.
The Mountain is a lot bigger priority.
Okay, they're going to kill him. And they should just
They
take the
should
Mountain
just
Drake.
get the Mountain
Okay.
Drake now. Okay.
It ends up working out because Lee Sin ran in the direction of the Mountain Drake.
And so, Dread really doing his best to help them out there. Let him straight to the real objective. As I have no idea why Afreeca was starting the Baron, why they took the fight as disjointed as they did. Mystic couldn't even enter it until it was nearing its end. By the time that he did, he got superplexed by Summit, ends up using his ultimate, kills Leo, so he's doing a really good job there too. And then Dread throws his Q out early, rather than Wing to the ward to try to trade off a kill, but then, because he didn't do that, he had his W available, almost looked like he was going to be able to escape there. And
Now,
I really have no idea why they didn't go to the mountain first. Especially because the angle surrounding the Mountain Dragon would be so much more favorable to Afreeca.
I wish I had the answers, but I do not. They valued the Baron in that case. They said, hey, maybe we can turn. They had this set up. Even if the idea wasn't right, they were trying to execute it in a manner of denying vision and flanking, but it looked kind of weird. The flank engaged from Jelly. He got caught halfway. He probably got hit by a binding. And so Gorilla didn't get charmed up. They weren't able to burst him down, and it kind of baited everybody into this awkward position on the side of Afreeca. Another engage here. Mystic does not have flash. Has to use that Featherstorm, but he gets dominated in the back line. And finally, the Ornn comes out, but that is way too late in this one. Sandbox able to just roll over them and will look to push down the mid lane and try to end this game.
This is just like game number 1. We're not even going to have a neutral get taken. And Afreeca, they punted this game. There's really nothing else to say about it. Yep. 2 times in a row. Why are they where they are on the map? And Sandbox dismantle them inside of team fights. And I don't know. I don't know anymore.
That was the way the cookie crumbled.